Hello and welcome to Business Apac. The Red Sea War is the conflict between Yemen's Houthis and a Saudi-led alliance, which intensified in November 2023, when the rebels attacked Red Sea cargo ships to support Gaza's Palestinians. The Red Sea links the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean via the Suez Canal. It carries 10% of global oil trade and 8% of world trade. The attacks have disrupted shipping and forced many vessels to take a longer route around Africa, raising costs, delaying deliveries, and threatening the global supply chain. In this video, we will explore how this crisis impacts India's trade and economy, and what are some of the realities surrounding it. The Red Sea War is a complex and multifaceted conflict that involves multiple actors and interests. The Red Sea War is the ongoing conflict between Yemen's Houthis, backed by Iran, and a Saudi-led coalition, with support from other countries like Israel, the US, the UK, and Egypt. The war affects India's oil imports, as it endangers the region that has 65% of the world's oil reserves. India gets most of its oil from the Middle East, mainly from Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. If the Red Sea closes, India would lose access to these sources and have to find alternatives, such as the US, Nigeria, and Angola. But these alternatives would cost more and be less dependable, as they would require longer and riskier routes. The Red Sea War could also impact the global oil market and prices, by lowering the supply and raising the demand. Higher oil prices would increase India's import bill, trade deficit, and inflation, which could harm its economic growth and recovery. The Red Sea War disrupts the trade route that connects Asia, Europe, and Africa, affecting the global economy. The Red Sea is the best route for shipping goods between these continents, but the war between Yemen's Houthis and a Saudi-led coalition threatens its security. The rerouting affects 20 to 25% of India's trade, worth $662 billion in 2022 to 23. The worst-hit sectors are refined petroleum, chemicals, plastics, and basmati rice, which are India's major exports. The higher shipping costs and delays could lower India's competitiveness and export earnings. For example, basmati rice exporters face a 10 to 15% rise in freight rates and a 15 to 20 days delay in shipments, which could impact their contracts and payments. Global trade could drop by 3 to 4%, and the global GDP by 1 to 2%, as per the World Bank. India has to deal with the situation and reduce its effects. India has to diversify its trade and oil sources and find alternative routes and transport modes, such as air and rail. India has to also boost its domestic production and consumption, and cut its import dependence, especially on oil. India has to also improve its energy security and efficiency, and invest in renewable and clean energy, such as solar and wind. India has to also use its strategic and diplomatic ties with the countries in the war, and encourage dialogue and peace in the region. The Red Sea War threatens the ships and crew members that cross the Red Sea. The Houthis have attacked commercial ships with drones and missiles. Some Indian ships, carrying Indian crew and oil, were targeted. No one was hurt, and the Indian Navy and Coast Guard saved the crew and ships. However, these attacks have raised the fear and risk of piracy and terrorism in the Red Sea and made many shipping lines avoid the area or increase their security and insurance. The Red Sea's southern port is Djibouti, at the entrance of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Gulf of Aden. Djibouti is India's strategic partner, as it gives access to the Indian Ocean and the Horn of Africa. The Red Sea War is a complex and changing situation that affects the world and India. India has to be ready for the challenges and opportunities it brings and take a proactive and practical approach to handle them. Let us know your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Thank you for watching.